stood out about those red zone opportunities on Saturday when you went back and looked at them?
Yeah, I tell you, we had our opportunities early in the game, and it was early in the game. And, you know, a lot of our wildcat, a lot of those things were working. Like the first drive, we went down. Steven pulled it. The second time, he gave it, boom, touchdown. And we had a plan in there to run the ball, and then if we needed to, throw it on third down. And we just didn't convert on some of the third down throws into the end zone. Looking back at it, we could have been a little bit more aggressive had we known what was going to happen later in the game. But we ended up getting more and more aggressive as we moved on from there and ended up putting up some points. But yeah, we would have liked to have had touchdowns there instead of field goals in the beginning of the game.
Is it a point of the game that you're going to that was a turning point? It might have been a turning point for a possible victory.
Well, I'll tell you, you know, you always look back and turnovers kill you. The turnover and Benny's not turning it over all year, but that was a huge turning point because we're going to a 5-point game again, and it's just like a boxing match. We talk about it all the time as a team. Coach Stoops talks it all the time. Is that you're throwing punches back and forth, and unfortunately, we turned the ball over on the 4-yard line, and they ended up going down and scored and ended up turning it into a 3-score game instead of being a 1-score game. So that was probably a big turning point in the game. But we didn't give up. We kept fighting. And again, there were some things that we could have done offensively that would have helped us get in the end zone faster, and we could have been in that game in the fourth quarter without a doubt.
Describe the 2-point conversion drive. What happened there?
Well, we worked on it, and we have different tricks and different things, but we put Benny at quarterback, which they go to a tight look, and Benny's supposed to run to the left and basically pitch it to Chuck, to Walker, coming around as a reverse, and then he's throwing the football back to our tight end and the receiver in the back of the end zone. You know, Benny saw a window of opportunity that he thought he could maybe run it in, and it closed, and then he went to go pitch the ball, and it was too late. So Benny's going to learn from that and move on. So
You talk about some of the seniors who were playing their last home game.
well, I'll tell you, again, Timmons. We talked about it all week this week. We want to get him a touchdown. We would love for him to score a touchdown and have a great game. Toth. What a great center and what a great leader on the offensive line. Has done a great job. Again, put me on the spot with everybody that I know everybody. I believe I'm trying to think of it. JoJo. JoJo, what a fighter. He's been working his tail off. Love to see him finish the big W, his last game. And who am I missing? Is there another one? Or is that it? But yeah, that's the seniors. But all three of those guys deserve to end, and they've done so much for this program throughout the years, and they've done so much this year of being very, very unselfish. Because JoJo had to go through some different situations with different running backs performing, and he's been there just fighting every single week. Timmons the same way, and then you got Toth, who's a great leader on the offensive line that's going to play in the NFL for a long time.
What do you think Steven has gotten better at and improved the most over the course of the year?
I'll tell you what, he's more comfortable. His footwork is 10 times better than when we first started because he could not sit in a pocket for a second. He didn't know how to. He knows how to work a pocket, which is important. His reads and his decision making have gotten better and better and better. He has not turned the ball over. The last couple games were early. He was turning it over. He just got touched. So we've been working on that. We've been working on beating him up with the ball and different, how to take a sack too. There's a lot of first-time things that Steven had to go through because he is a first-year player, and he had to learn the hard way sometimes. And I think he's gotten better at those things. The thing I'd like to see him get better at and really focus on is the details of his targets. I think his completion percentage, and I don't look at it as completion percentage, I look at it as the target balls. And he had 3 drops in the last game, which would have brought his percentage up, but there's passes that he's missing that are open receivers, and we need to hit them, and it will help our team. And it's frustrating that we're not. But he also has really been so tough all year. He's taken hits. He's gotten up. Some other guys would have quit and walked off the field and said, "I'm hurt. I don't want to play," or "I'm, my head hurts. I don't want to play anymore." And he never says that. He goes back in, keeps fighting, and I really appreciate it, and his team appreciates that.
How exciting were you to see him wrap up the way he did at the end of that 75-yard run on the first play there?
Yeah, that was great. And again, he's been tough all year. I'm really proud of him. He's done a great job.
Thanks.
Thank you.